Hey everybody, it's Casual Boobs coming at you with another video, and today we're doing the Get Good episode 9. I know we just had episode 8 not very long ago, but I wanted to cover this one as well, but I've been getting a lot of questions about it, so here's the answer. This entire video is going to be about mod packs. There are a lot of different mod pack creators. There's a lot of different individual mods that you can get that don't come in a giant pack with all of them. The one I use is Aslan's mod. It's mod pack. It's a combination of many people's mods that are all kind of packaged into one. It's not the only one. For instance, I know of Rel Hacks is the name's kind of a joke, lol. And I know the guy who runs it, Wilster. Hi, Wilster. I'm not going to show you that one because, frankly, Wilster, I don't know how to work it. I don't know how to use your thing. So I'm going to show you how I do the things, how Aslan's, how I do it, and then basically the mods that I would recommend, how they work, what they do, how to install it, the whole thing. Before we do that, real quick, I need to show you something, because basically every mod in the game, or in these mod packs, Wargaming had done a pretty good job. It took them like 7 freaking years, but they finally have gradually started adding more and more of the functionality of mods into the vanilla game client. So for the vast majority of these mods that I'm about to show you, and I'll show you what they do as we go through them and stuff, but like 99% of them are purely visual. They're just, I have them because I like the way it looks. It's easier for me to see the information I'm looking for in an easier way. For instance, one example, I like to show the number of tanks that are alive on the top of the screen rather than the number of kills. It's the same information. I like to know how many tanks do I have? How many tanks does the enemy team have? If it's 2, like, I don't want to do subtraction. If it says 13, all right, well, let's say 15 minus 13 is 2, so they've got 2 tanks. I don't want to do math when I'm trying to tank. So a lot of it's stuff like that, where it's just basically just how I like things to look. So this will be very subjective to me. You guys can get in there. I'll show you how to get in there and mess around with it and get it so that it looks the way that you like, because this will probably be an iterative process. It took me a while to get things just the way I like them. And honestly, at this point, I don't even like playing without a mod pack. But with one exception, there is one mod that is in the mod packs. It's really useful, and the functionality that it affords you is not available in the vanilla client. And that mod is called Ballistics Calculator. And to explain why that's good, I'm going to explain first what it does and how it works. So basically, I have these shitty drawings from Microsoft Paint to explain. So if you have a tank and you're shooting at a target, and this is the spot you're trying to shoot at, and you've got slow shell velocity rounds, typically howitzers, basically howitzers. Yeah, this doesn't apply to artillery or anything like that. This is direct fire. But things that have slow shell velocity, you'll notice if you've ever shot one of those things that, especially if it's far away, the shell will arc quite a bit. It's like if you're trying to like throw a football, but you don't really want to put a lot of energy into it, you kind of have to lob it. It's the same thing. So what that means is when you're shooting something that's close, that you might be aiming at the solid line, but then the dotted line is the actual shell path. And you notice in the middle there is a difference between, like the shell arcs. There's a difference between the height of the shell and where you're aiming. And then ditto for the same thing for farther away, you got the same kind of thing, except the difference is even higher. So that's how it works. World of Tanks tries to be smart. When you aim at a spot on the map, it will try to be smart and calculate how to angle the shell arcs so that it lands exactly where you want. And for the most part, that works pretty okay. The problem comes when you're trying to shoot a tank that is moving on a ridgeline, or if you're trying to blind fire a bush that's on a ridgeline, and so then this other picture right here, where basically this one is again shitty MS Paint. Sorry about that. So what's happening here, when you try to blind fire a bush, you're looking through the bush, and but Wargaming, the code thinks that you are aiming far away. So when you shoot and you're blind firing a bush, the shell will arc way up, and it will go over the bush you're trying to shoot. Or if you're trying to hit something that's on the move on like a wheelie boy that's on a ridge, you'll probably just shoot way over his head, even if you hit it exactly where you wanted it to. The game doesn't think that way. And so what you use the Ballistics Calculator mod. You press the button. I use Q, but there's 2 buttons. It's like Q or G or whatever to activate it. And what you're basically doing there is you press that button while aiming at a spot that is approximately the same distance away as the bush that you're trying to shoot at. So like, for instance, I would use the Ballistics Calculator mod, and I would lock it on this what's it? This range. It's a range. You're locking a range in, and you'll see the range sometimes displayed by the reticle. Then you aim through the bush, and what it does is it basically says, all right, I'm going to shoot at this like trajectory, and then you'll see the reticle will appear to dip way down, because what it's telling you there is this is where we think the shell will hit. Is that okay? And you're like, yeah, because I know it's going to sail through this bush and hit the bush, which is what I want it to do. So that's like, there's no way in the game, no way in the vanilla client to do this. And it doesn't come up very often, but sometimes when you want to hit that damn shot and you can't without this mod, it's very annoying. So that's the one thing that's in the mod packs, I think, that's like a purely not aesthetic or functionality. Like a lot of it's just, instead of 2 clicks, it takes 1 click. Well, this is one thing that you really can't do without a mod pack. And so that's how that works. So that's okay, that's that mod pack, or that specific mod. So basically, how does it start? You just go to aslan.com, ASLAIN.com, right? And it looks like this, right? And you just go to World of Tanks. Apparently I have a ships mod pack. I don't play ships. I suck at ships, so whatever. You'll need to do this every time there's a patch, right? Every time there's a patch, it will break the mod pack. It's very annoying. So you'll have to wait and make sure that the version of the game that is out is the version of the mod pack that's out. A lot of times if you're on the NA server and the NA server gets the patch first, which has happened a few times, most of these mod makers are in the Russian server or they're in the EU, so they can't update their mods until they have the game. So everything's lagging, right? So just make sure when your mods break because there's an update and you go to download a new one, make sure that you're actually getting the mod pack for the version that is correct. Very easy. If you're not sure, the hidden contents have like the change log, so you can just make sure, like, all right, what day this one was on, 214, 215, 217, they've had updates as an example. So this is obviously the right one. You just click to download, and then you have the wherever it downloads to, you have an executable file, which normally you'd be very careful about downloading and clicking on executable files, but this is not a virus. World of Tanks could be considered a virus, but this is not a virus. I'm going to run through this right now. I have the game open so I can show you guys. I can click to it and show you how it works and show you the various different things, like what each mod does. But normally you will need to close the game in order to run the mod pack. But as you can see here, then, so it's this little splash screen comes up and you want to show the preview window that shows you what the mods do, or tries to show you what the mods do. Click through here and yada yada. This is the default. If you have it installed somewhere else, then you got to tell it where the game directory is. And now this is basically it. You want to go down to use your own choices in this little drop down, and then you just get this massive list of options. And I will say this is very cumbersome. If it were my thing, I would have these, I don't know, organized in some other way. But it isn't my thing, so here it is. So I will just run through basically the ones that I have. I use like this one. I like the little bars over the bars that look like this over top of people's tanks. I think that's in the game in a way, but I just like the way this one looks. So there's that one. But again, there are a lot of things that I don't use, but that doesn't mean they're not good, and you might like them. You can see a lot of these different options look a certain way. So, fiddle around with it and find, maybe you like something that I don't like, and that's fine. I don't use any of this stuff. Let me see here. There's a strong shadow behind. This is just making the names of tanks more visible. Panels and windows. I just have this one showing up in the pre-battle, right? Battle loading sign. Not all that useful because I'm anonymized, because then all this stats break. But this gives you an idea of the relative skill of your teammates and your enemy team, so you can watch out for who's got 12,000 battles in their Panzer 2J. That's probably a problem. You probably should look out for that guy. I just have removed these icons and flags and stuff. This one's a big one. I have this one because I want to see the name. I want to see it like this. And there is a way to get, like, you can make it do this in the vanilla client, but I like the way this one looks. And we'll get to whatever. This is just this column. That's what that is. And we're scrolling down. I like this version of the hit point bars. World of Tanks added this one into the game, so it's in the vanilla client, but I don't like the way it looks. I like to see the full bar, and then if somebody's lost hit points, it looks like I prefer the way this one looks. Begs the question of why don't Wargaming just add the damn mods into the game? Good question. I don't know. Maybe they're too proud to admit that this is better than what they made. Anyway, so I just have this one. This is another one. So they added this one to the mod to the game, and it actually works just exactly the same. Again, I'm just used to the way this one looks, but basically this is probably one of the more useful ones. So it shows light bulbs or eyeballs or whatever. And the idea here is if the light bulb is dark, that tank has never been spotted. If the light bulb is lit up, that tank is currently spotted right now. If that tank is this white, right, it's not the gray, but it's the white, that means it has been spotted, but it's not spotted right now. You might be thinking, Boops, why does that matter? Well, this is really useful because this helps you at a glance figure out, okay, is the entire enemy team accounted for, right? Because let's just say, for example, you're on steps, and half the team is on the north and half the team is on the south, and there's a bunch of artillery in the back, and you're a light tank, you're a wheelie boy, and there's 3 artillery, and you see that everybody has been spotted except for like 2 tank destroyers, right? Well, at that point, I would be very cautious because you might have tank destroyers in the middle and so on. So it's kind of risky to go in and do aggressive things. But if everybody in their entire team has been spotted and they're all on the ends, that's your cue to say, okay, I know where everybody is. I can go in there and probably get some artillery without being surprised. This is an easy way to tell, is the entire enemy team accounted for? Can I go do something and not be surprised by a tank I didn't expect? So this is really handy. It's in the vanilla client, so you don't need this one. But I like the way it looks. You're gonna hear that a lot in this in this video. The circles on the map. So this one is important. So this is the proximity, the auto detection circle. Somebody just asked me about this in the YouTube comments. So I said proxy spotting. So this I'm gonna really very quickly. So camo mechanics are a thing, vision mechanics are a thing. If you're in a bush and you're very, very stealthy, you might not get spotted, even if somebody has very good view range, unless somebody puts their tank within 50 meters of your tank. And if they do, you are instantly spotted. They are instantly spotted, even if there's a wall between you or a hill between you or a rock or whatever. It's called proxy spotting. And so this little ring tells you exactly where that line is. So if you're in a bush and someone's approaching and they're just like wandering in your general direction, you can tell if they're about to cross that circle, you know you're about to get spotted. So you can prepare to, leave or shoot them or something. You know when you're about to be spotted. So I always have this one on. I always have this one on too. This is the max detection circle. So even if someone has bajillion meters of view range, they'll never spot you within this circle. This is the max draw distance. That's how far it is before someone doesn't appear in your game, right? So if you're outside of this, like if there's a tank that's spotted, like in this example, you see here, it shows the preview. In this example, if there was a tank destroyer spotted at A4, it wouldn't matter because they're outside of your draw distance, which means they won't show up and you can't see them. You can still shoot them, but you can't see them, that's where it comes to, aiming with the mini map and so on. All these different view range circles. This thin red line is the view range circle for machine guns and SPGs. SPGs are sometimes they do shoot across the damn map because balance, and this tells you the range that your SPG can shoot. And a lot of the low tier Daka guns have limited range, right? Most of the shells in this game go 720 meters. And then they cease to exist, which is why it's impossible to shoot from one side of the cliff map all the way to the other because the shells don't make it that far. But that's, and they don't show you that. I wouldn't mind seeing that circle, to be honest. Show me the 720 circle. But a lot of the little auto cannons have a much shorter range than that. So it's useful to know, like sometimes if something is spotted and in your draw distance, the shells will cease to exist at like 300 meters. So you physically can't hit them from where you are. It's useful to know where that circle is. So that's this. I always have that one. The lines, I like the lines. Okay, show vehicle direction line. This one tells you where you're looking. This one tells you where you're facing. And then the lines on the side show you, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so vehicle direction line, that's exactly where you're facing, right? So if you want to make sure that you're about to shoot and run away and you're running away down the red line, you can orient it using the mini map, knowing that you're headed in the perfectly right direction. This one, the camera circle, shows exactly which direction you're looking. You can use this to line up shots with the mini map. If somebody is spotted but not in your draw distance, and you're like, all right, well, they're right on this building, I can see the building, they're not in my draw distance, but I can shoot right there where I think they are anyways, using the mini map or whatever. This happens a lot, and it's very satisfying to do. So you always have this one. Showing the gun traverse lines. This is really useful for tank destroyers. Things that have a semi-traversable turret, is you can tell, you can line up on the minimap like, all right, I think tanks will be in these places. I want to make sure that I can shoot those places in advance. So this will help you set up your shots. Label show icons for destroyed tanks. That's useful. I have that on there. I show the full vehicle name just because on the minimap, just because I like it. And there's a bunch of other options here as far as minimap stuff. I don't use it, but you can. Excuse me. Damage logs. I like this one. Only because I'm used to it. It's the damage logs that have been added to the game are pretty good. I just like to see the list of what have I done to things, and it's a little bit harder to tell. Like, I like the way this one's displayed, so I use this one. Again, it's like I like the way it looks. Player stats for XVM, sure. It doesn't work for me anyways because I'm anonymized, but yeah, you can choose which color rating you want to show people as. This doesn't really matter, to be honest. This one's a big deal. So I have the mod that shows 6 cents when you're spotted. 6 cents goes off, which doesn't always go off immediately. There's a random amount of time between when you were spotted and when the 6 cents goes off. That's between like 1 and 3 seconds, which is why sometimes if somebody's pre-aiming you when your your vicinity, you get spotted and you get instantly destroyed, and your 6 cents doesn't even go off. It's not hacks. They just killed you before that amount of time that it took for the 6 cents icon to actually show up, right? Anyways, the amount of time that you are spotted also varies. It's also random, and so it's useful. Like, basically, after 10 seconds, you can pretty much guarantee that you're not going to be spotted. Assuming that you are not still spotted, but we'll get into that later. But anyway, so it's useful. I have this little mod where it shows the 6 cents icon for 10 seconds. So that way, if I'm hiding behind a ridge or something like that, and it's been 10 seconds, then I know, okay, I can probably come out now because I'm probably not spotted. This helps me to not come out before I'm ready, right? So I might think I'm not spotted, but I'm still spotted, and then I go out and get shot. So this is a nice little reminder to take your time. You might still be spotted, so don't go do anything risky yet, and then okay, right? There's so many other different icons for this. It could be whatever you want it to be. Be Captain Picard, whatever. Yeah, I don't use a custom icon. I think you have to do other things to make this happen. I don't care enough to make this work. And then here we're in the garage section. You can hide all kinds of buttons. Hide general chat. Just always hide general chat. Nothing good comes out of general chat ever. Hide the promotional tank in the background. You can get rid of that. It's really annoying stuff. All this stuff, you can hide the combat intelligence. That doesn't pop up anymore. You can hide an event banner. All these things that you might not like, you can get rid of them. Daily gold quest, you can get rid of that too, apparently. So I have this stuff, but it's whatever. Padlocks are nice, so that way if you click the padlock, it locks your gold. You don't accidentally spend it. That's nice. You can do the same thing for your free XP and your bonds. I have a clock in the garage because otherwise it's like a casino. There's no clock anywhere. You can't see how late it is, and before you know it, you're like 3 hours past your bedtime still playing tanks. It's nice to have a clock. So there's that. I have the tank carousel at 2. They have that in the game, in the vanilla client too. You can have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. You can go crazy. 2 I found is kind of the nice middle ground where I can still see the tank I've selected, but I don't scroll for 5 years. These are a bunch of different little options as far as what the tank carousel looks like. I like this one specifically, and you'll see all these different flavors of it has this but not that, and it also shows this, and so on and so forth. What I've shown for this, what I like this one is it shows your win rate in the tank. It shows how many battles you've played in that tank. It shows your average damage in the tank so far. It shows your expected damage based on your stats. So you can tell, like, do you do way better in this tank than you normally would? Great, this will tell you. Tells you whether you've got an ace tanker in the tank, and it also tells you what is it? it here. Like it shows you whether you have a mark of excellence, right? So I've got 1 in the 268 V4, for example, or like, you know, what I like, why I like this one specifically is it shows me all that information, but let me get back to it. Shows me all that information, but it doesn't show me the mark of excellence percentage. I don't want to see this personally, because when I see it at 84.5%, I'm going to play like shit. I'll screw it up. So I don't want to see this. But if you're a very good player and you want to track this stuff, then maybe you want that. Maybe you want to see where you are so you can know that you're about to get it. And things are all different a little bit here. So, but I picked this one because it doesn't show me the percentage. I don't want to know the percentage. That's just a me personally thing. But again, there's so many choices of how they're displayed, and a lot of this info is now shown in the vanilla client, like I said. But it's just not in this way. Some of you have to hover over, and it's not quite the things I want to see. So I still use the mod packs for this. It just tells me the things I want to see in the way that I want to see them. And you can tell it to color your premium tanks to golds. You can tell which ones are premiums easily if you don't already know. I don't know. There's so many options here. This is like you can sort things by a certain way. Get in here and dig around, because there's definitely so much stuff in here that I don't need or want, but somebody might love them. I use okay, so now we've shifted to other settings. Let me see here. I use the team HP, right? So it's nice to know whether, like, okay, you can see, and I think they've added this to the game now, to the vanilla client, but whatever. It's nice to see if you have 3 tanks and they have 5 tanks, but you have, you know, 6,000 hit points, but their enemy team only has 3,000 hit points. Well, that tells you a lot more information. That means your team is probably in a pretty good spot, despite how many tanks they have, right? So it's hit points and number of tanks available are both valuable info, and so I have that displayed there. It's really easy. Show it live instead of frags, right? This, I've talked about this. I just don't want to see, I don't want to do math, right? If it's like 7 and it's like 6 and 8, I don't want to like do math and be like, all right, if there's 6 kills, that means they've got 9 tanks left. I don't want to do math. I want it to tell me the thing at a glance. How many tanks are left? 4? Okay, got it. Like, so I like that one. Let me see here. I disabled the damn dog tags because they're awful. Whoever had that idea was stupid. The post-mortem thing, I don't show that. So the vehicle contour icons, that's this. I like this, and there's so many, you can see there's a lot of different choices, a lot of different options of types of things. I just like simple with big font. Just tell me the tank name. And I know that there's a way that you can click these little buttons up here, and Wargaming will tell you in their font that it's, you know, an SU 101, for example. But the reason I also like it this way is because it color codes them in a way that's very obvious and at a glance. Heavy tanks are red, I know that. Light tanks are green, I know that. The artillery is purple. I don't have to look and figure, okay, it says IS. Oh yes, that's a heavy tank. Okay, sure. Oh, AMX 1357, that's a light tank. Like, I don't need to think about what it is. I can tell at a glance because of the color coding and the name. So do you need this? No, all the information is there, but I like it because I can see at a glance, just looking, if there's purple, 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 that means there's 3 clickers in the game. That's good to know, right? I don't need to think about, oh, bat chat, da 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 da. That's a TD, okay, or that's an artillery. So I like this one. There's a lot of people that you might like different things. That's okay. These are all, there's so many different options and icons and so on and so forth. So many different things. This is the original icons if you'd want that for some reason. There's all kinds of zoom in mods, but a lot of those have been added to the client. I don't know why anyone would need to zoom in 60x, but there's a mod that you can do that. The zoom out mod has been added to the client. I don't use that, but the tactical view and all that stuff, you can do that in a mod pack. Disable gun shake, that's nice. For obvious reasons. If you have like a rapid fire autoloader and you're trying to line up a shot, but it keeps bouncing every time you shoot, turn it off. Here it is. This is a big one. Enable free cam in replays. I don't know why this isn't a vanilla feature, but this one isn't. If you're watching a replay and you don't have a mod pack, you are locked to a tank all the time. But if you have this mod pack, you can move the camera around and not be locked to a tank. And so I use this all the time for replays, for bloopers and stuff, and it's just handy. Enable horizontal stabilization in sniper mode. it's really nice if you have that, because if you're in sniper mode and you are a semi-traversable turret, I think they might have this in the vanilla client, but basically if you're in sniper mode and you turn the hull, the entire thing will move you. It's very disorienting. And so this way your reticle still moves, but your camera is stabilized, so it doesn't disorient, it doesn't move your view by you pressing a different button. I'm describing it very poorly, but trust me, it's very disorienting in a semi-traversable turret to be in sniper mode and to be moving around without this setting is awful. Penetration indicator is pretty cool. You can mouse over different parts of a tank and it'll tell you your penetration value versus the penetration, the armor thickness of the thing you're shooting at. So this basically gives a number, right? There's an in-game client thing for the crosshairs that tells you the little color of the reticle, whether you're going to pen or not. Probably this gives you a number, 75 out of 49. So do you need it? No, I like it, so I have it. So that's that. Server crosshair is a thing. My ping is great, so I don't need it, but for a lot of people this is a good idea too. Crosshairs, there's an entire section of crosshairs. Oh my god, there are so many of these, and there's so many. They're like, some of these are hard to even like see through, so I would caution the use of this. And that was my thing, is like, things to look out for is like, don't clutter your game with so much shit that you can't even see. So there's a fine line between enough useful information to help you and like so much crap that you can't even like actually even understand. Harpoon, there's too much crap here, I can't even read that. I don't even know what's going on. There's too much stuff. So don't fall into the trap of like putting everything, oh god, I take it off, of putting everything on because it's cool, right? Aim circle, battle assistant, you don't need any of these anymore because they took it off, or they put that, battle assistant is now in the game, right? Battle assistant used to be the only way that you could aim at an angle, right? Used to be before battle assistant was added to the game, and before there was a mod for it, you can only look top down. And then battle assistant came out in mod packs, and it allowed you to look at an angle to see more of the trajectory of the shell. And then they added that to the game, so it's in the game. Yada yada yada. Damage indicators, doesn't matter. That's in the game too. This one's big. So stickers. Okay, so for the stickers, I'm going to show you. Here's a video here of why I use the stickers. And this I use the same video about explaining why the camo net sucks. But this is a perfect example also to show the stickers. So I use the stickers because it allows you to see where you've been shot, right? You can see the little paint stickers all over my tank, and that tells you, okay, did they just pen through your turret? Did they pen through it? It lets you know, oh, I'm getting penned 5 or 6 times in my lower plate. I must be showing my lower plate. It's not hacking. They shot me in this spot. I must have shown that to them. So this tells me, I like it because I can turn the camera around and see where I've been shot from, and it's informative, right? And then also we'll show you here, what I'm about to show you here is called the Last Shots mod. We'll get to that. You can see, I'll pause it now at 12:46. You can see all the different shells that you can see that are coming into the dead tank from the different directions that that point to where the enemies are. That's called the Last Shots mod. That's similar to the paintball, the little stickers mod, because it'll show you where you've been shot, show you what killed you and so on, and where it's located. And it's good to inform yourself as to, oh god, no, it wasn't hacking, I just got shot in my this part must be really weak. Okay, sounds good. And you can see that. So we'll get to where that is in the mod pack also. So that's the stickers. We'll get back to this. Tank headlights, who cares? Aim helping mod. We're getting down here. So that's Balcalc mod, the Ballistics Calculator calculation helper. And I'll show you now. I've got a video actually of how that works. We'll open that up now. Okay, so now here in this example, I'm going to visually show everybody how it works and why and so on. So I'm trying to hit this spot in Cliff with a derp gun. You can see the shells going high, right? For the same reason, because World of Tanks thinks I'm trying to aim at the sky a long ways away, and it's going too high. If I'm trying to shoot at something in that bush, I can't do it. So instead, what I'm going to do, I'm going to shoot I'm going to put the mod on, and then I'm going to lock to that duration, or that range, and then you'll see the reticle dips down because it's what the game is telling me is, oh, this is going to hit this certain lower spot behind the hill. So perfect. And then I shoot, and you can see it goes right through the exact spot of the bush that I want to see. Okay, so then let me see here. Scrolling down here, there's so many options of, some of these are useful and some of these are not useful. Damage panels and so on. Mark of Excellence Calculator and expected values. This is useful for, probably this is like an advanced tip. I'm all out of order with this, but this is useful if you want to know like what the expected values are for your different marks of excellence, whether it's 1 mark or 2 mark or 3 marks. Again, I don't like to see this because I don't want to know the numbers and I don't want to know how close I am. And you can look these up on external websites too. But this is a lot of people have this. A lot of people love it. You can tell in the game whether you've gotten enough damage in that game to have earned the mark that you're trying to go for after the game is over, right? So if you're like at 94%, 94.5%, it'll tell you, okay, at this point, you've gotten enough damage that at the end of this game, you'll have gotten the mark. So you'll see people celebrating mid-game. They're like, I just marked it. And you're like, how do you know? This is how. So that's one of the things. Scrolling down here, I don't use any of this stuff. Hide the dog tags, hidden parameters. Oh, I want to see that. Yes, I want to see this. Final Shot is the last hits mod I was just talking about. So that's this one. You want to show that one. Let me see here. Steel Hunter stuff. There's all kinds of different little things. I don't use these, but you can. Icons, different sounds for Sixth Sense. Graphics performance. This is a big one. If you guys are playing on a computer that is a potato, the FPS limiter is a big one. So a lot of computers will try to work as hard as they possibly can. You'll have like 120 frames per second or more. But if your monitor doesn't display more than 60, there's no point in making a computer work that hard. So I have mine capped to 60 because my monitors that I use are 60 FPS monitors. If you don't know what I'm talking about, monitors that display more frames are very expensive. So you would know if you had one of those. If you don't have one, you might as well cap your FPS to 60 because there's no point in making your computer work any harder than that anyways. You can remove some fog and whatever, and sun glare if you care. I keep it in there, whatever. A lot of people like the night sky because it just kind of turns things at different ambiance. Sure. Garage mod. Okay, so I have the garage mod called Hangman. It's kind of cool, and it allows you to click around in the various, and I'll show you. In the garage, I can pick any garage that I want with this mod. It's sad that I need a mod pack to do this because like this is pretty cool, and Ships definitely has the ability to switch ports with a click of a button, but unfortunately for me to do that I need to download a mod pack. And so if there's a garage that you really like, probably not this one because of the stupid drummers, right? But if there's a garage that you really like, you can very easily get to it. If you can have it on a map specifically, you want that? That's a thing. Put your tank on a map, right? So there's all these choices. It's pretty cool. And personally, I like the Remembrance Day. That's probably, in my opinion, this is the best map or the best garage they've ever made. So I like this one. So that's that. Let me see here. I'll get back to it. Okay, so that's the Hangman. You can also make it minimalistic too. There's a lot of different things here. Garage icons, yada yada. I'll just try to keep speeding this up here. Anonymizer on battle results. This is a big one. So without this, it's difficult to tell what a person's actual name was after a game, and I like to see that. So I can have that. Yeah, like otherwise, you have to like click in and see. It's much easier to just show me what their name was after the game. Battle hits. This is in the actual garage. You can see what each shell did. You can see the shell penetration and what happened and what hit, what pen, what didn't pen. It's worth noting that all this information that is used is all client side, right? It's on your computer, all the data, but all the calculations for the damage is done server side. So there's a small lag between those two things. So it's possible, I've seen this done, where if somebody shows a picture from the last hits, the battle hits viewer, excuse me, and they say, oh my god, I can't believe this was a pen. How this is crap. It looks like it missed. Well, if it's very close and you have very bad ping, it's possible that there's just enough offset between what your client saw and what the server saw. So what I'm trying to say is this might not be perfectly 100% accurate, but it's pretty close, and it's good education. If you just got owned a whole bunch of by getting shot in a whole bunch of different places, now you know those places are weak and you know how it happened. Extend your friends list, because why not? Extend your blacklist, because there's a lot of assholes on the server. Otherwise Wargaming caps you for some reason to, like, I don't know, 100 on your blacklist. So extend that. There's a bunch of different things. See here, region changer. You have regions in different areas. Shameless plug. Now, as of today, as of last night, there is an EU and an Asia Boops clan. So if you're on the EU server and you want to join in the Boops community, I will have a link in the description. If you're in the Asia server and you want to join in the Boops community, there is a link to that clan in the description as well. So welcome. That's a thing. Let me see here. Session statistics. This is, I don't use this anymore because the one that Wargaming added is actually pretty good. So I don't need this. But there's all kinds of session stats that you can have. The different sounds I have. Let me see. I have crew sounds set to, where is it? I like all my voices to be female American voices. You can make it whatever you want. You can make everybody Sabaton if you want. You can make everybody Polish. You can make everybody whatever you want. And so this unfortunately does not fix the really annoying, like, offspring. The frickin' offspring, I can't get rid of that for some reason. But everything else is this. And so I like this. It just simplifies things. It's one less distraction. Everything sounds the same. Everything says the same words. It's just, for me, I like it because I'm a small brain, and this helps me focus on the things that matter and not get distracted. So this, you can change your crew voices to whatever you want. You can change music, apparently, if you have music. I have this one disabled. The disable sound, the stun sound effect. The sound of you going like deaf as you've gotten penned or splashed from artillery. I fucking hate that. It's very disorienting. I think that's the whole point. Is, oh, it's realism. It's disorienting. Hate it. So I have this and it turns it off. And so I don't hear any of that, and it's great. And actually, because this is on, I can actually hear, I can actually tell when an artillery shell is coming at me, because it will start to lessen the sounds around me. It's hard to describe, but like this kind of actually works as like a sound detection, just without the crew skill. So lol. Let me see here. Textures. So hit zone skins. I don't use these because I don't need them, but they are allowed. This is a great way to show, like, these are allowed. It doesn't show. What am I trying to say? There are hit skins that are not allowed, where it shows the 3D model inside the tank of where the different modules are. That's not allowed. This is allowed, and it just shows you on the outside where certain tank modules are likely located, right? So if you can aim, if you see one of these stickers on the side of a tank that says ammo rack, you shoot that area, you're much more likely to detonate an ammo rack. It's nice. I like I said, I have played it long enough that I don't need that, but this be useful for lower or for less skilled or less experienced players. And it shows you the drive wheels, which ones you need to shoot to knock the tracks off. So it's a cool thing. It's useful. I can see the use. If you want that, you know, go for it. And then these are a bunch of other skins that are, nobody else will see this. You will see this, but nobody else will, if that matters to you. But there's all kinds of pretty cool little historical or non-historical different skins that look a certain way. If you like that, I've turned it off because they're kind of big, but you can make them look. You can make these tanks look kind of cool, to be honest with you. Oh gosh, so individual tank skins, like I'm going to give you like this. The M4A1 Sherman Mini Mule. You can make your Sherman look like that, which is interesting. Warstig Waffentrager, you can make it look like that. You can make the Lerva look like that. So there's all these skins in the game. They're not in the game, but they're in this mod pack. Again, no one else will see that, but you will see that. So isn't that really what matters? And then, yeah, that's a cool thing for a variety of different tanks. Train wagons, painted rollers, yada, yada, yada. Minimap mods, again, I don't use a bunch of this stuff because there's a fine line between it's being useful and having too much, right? So I don't use any of this stuff. And that is it. Those are the mods that I use. and I have talked for way too long. So so once you're done with that, you would just go next, and then delete Python and XVM logs, delete all previous mods from the thing, and then go next, and then it's going to say, oh god, you can't do this when the game is running. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, there it is. You can't do it when the game is running. So anyways, that's the mod. That's my mod pack, and there are many others. Like I said, rel hacks is a thing, and there are probably others that I'm not even aware of. You can get these from the World of Tanks portal too, but I'm a slave to habit. I just go to the same website every time. So anyways, that is going to do it for me, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. And also, I guess, don't forget to like and subscribe and join the channel and join the community, join the Discord. We're chatting and stuff. And yeah, okay, there we go. Thanks, guys. Bye.